Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Drop with John program. I'm very excited to be with you here this morning on November 20th. Hopefully you're listening live on WAEM 94.9, or maybe you're watching on our YouTube channel. Either way, it's nice to see you again. We have some all-star guests this morning, so I'm going to get right to them. But before I do, I wanted to make a couple of quick announcements. One, yesterday, we went to a press conference virtually with Governor Baker and his administration. Senator Eldridge and our other delegation was there as well, and we received $2.75 million in a grant from the MassWorks program. So we're very excited about that, and we're going to be using that to help with the Powder Mill Apartments project in South Acton. It'll help with complete streets and sewer infrastructure. So more to come on that, but very exciting news. Public health guidance, we're going to get right to Heather because that's the big topic right now. We want to make sure people are maintaining safety, wearing masks and everything that you're supposed to be doing. So I'm going to get right to Heather. Good morning, Heather.
Morning, John. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you. So overall, cumulatively, for the number of cases since March in the town of Acton, we have 276 cases. And currently, there's 20 cases under isolation right now. So the biggest news in the last couple of days, really, with Thanksgiving coming up, the CDC and the Mass Department of Public Health had come out with some guidance with recommendations about travel and celebrating Thanksgiving. And today the CDC came out with a stronger stance about recommending that people celebrate Thanksgiving with anyone who is in their own home only. So that's definitely a stronger stance than what they were suggesting for safety. You know, there's been over 1 million cases in the United States in the last 7 days, and that's very concerning. And that's across the country, obviously, not here in Acton, thank goodness. So it's definitely concerning that folks try to stay with the people in their own home because we are really seeing household spread. Especially in the last 2.5 to 3 weeks. And I know I've mentioned this before. A lot of our cases in Acton are because of positive cases in your own home and then being spread to the people that live with you. Or folks have been having, you know, a Sunday family dinner with the grandparents or other family members from outside of the house. And that's where that spread is really being shown as the data is coming in, especially in Massachusetts, I think also all over the country. So the guidance now is to really not travel and really limit those folks that you're celebrating with. There still are recommendations on the cdc.gov website, as well as the Mass Department of Public Health website, that talks about if you are considering traveling still, things that you should look at for where you are going. And some of those things are, one, if you or anyone in the household that you're going to is sick with COVID-19 symptoms, that would be something that you would want to avoid. If the cases are increasing, whether it's here in Acton and you're hosting a Thanksgiving or you're traveling somewhere, you want to make sure you keep an eye on those cases and if they're increasing. Are there hospitals in your community or your destination that are getting overwhelmed with COVID-19? Does the home or the destination have requirements or restrictions for travelers? So Massachusetts has their own restrictions for travel guidance. That can be found on the Mass Department of Public Health. But that is a quarantine of 14 days unless you have a negative test result when you come back to Massachusetts. But make sure you check other states because every state is different. Also, do your plans include traveling by train, bus, or air? Definitely gives a higher risk because the 6-foot distancing is not able to happen and it's a closed space. And are you traveling with people that you don't live with? So basically the CDC is saying if you say yes to any of those questions or conditions that I read off to you, they really think you should make other plans, such as hosting a virtual gathering or delaying your travel to a later date, and just really limiting that to your own family. So there's definitely still tips you can find about, making things safer. If you are doing something at your home out with your family out, who lives outside, but definitely the recommendation is not to be traveling right now and limiting those folks coming into your home, or if you're going to someone else's house outside of your own. So, I know it's such a hard time, and I hope that you all have a happy holiday, and try to enjoy it as best as you can. Turkey is always a good thing to have on Thanksgiving, so I look forward to at least that part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather, and great job as always. Everybody listen to that guidance and be safe. Our next speaker is Sharon Mercurio, our COA director, who helps run the Senior Center in person and virtually. And today is another installment of our virtual Senior Center offering. So Sharon, what's happening?
Thank you, John. First of all, I just wanted to acknowledge the loss of Mike Tobia, who passed away last week. Huge pillar in our community. He actually founded Community Supper that happens every Wednesday at Mount Calvary Church. And it is just what it says it is. It was a community supper, and it continues. But it was a place for people just to get together and socialize and form community. So a huge loss for our community. But we're grateful for what he started and hopeful that it will continue. This Tuesday, we had our drive-through Thanksgiving. So that was a wonderful event. We had seniors, 75 come through for a turkey dinner. We had some help with Eagle Scout Siddharth, and Zane and his handler, Detective Stackhouse, were there helping to direct traffic, as was Detective Araclio. So it was a nice event, and wanted to thank everybody who helped out and who came. We're going to be having a special COA board meeting on Tuesday, November 24th at 10 o'clock. Again, it's virtual. You can find the link on our website. We'll be closed. All town offices will be closed on Thursday and Friday next week, but leave a message if there's anything urgent, and we'll get back to you when we're back in the office. Wanted to remind people too, it's so difficult that we need to continue to isolate, and I think we're feeling it more around the holidays. I know I am. But to know that the COA is there for you. We have volunteers that are really coming out of the woodwork that want to connect with you. So if, no offense, but if you're sick of talking to your daughter every night on the phone, maybe try somebody new. We've got some honor society students, we have Boy Scouts, we have other seniors, we have COA staff. And it's just nice. You connect with somebody else, and you're not only helping yourself, but you're helping them as well, because I think we're all feeling it right now. And wanted to remind folks too that Zane the service dog is available for home visits. So his handler and Zane will come visit you outdoors in your house. And really, there's nothing like petting an animal that just kind of helps ground you and makes your day a little bit. So happy Thanksgiving, and thanks for joining us.
That's interesting. I didn't know Zane was doing house calls now. That's pretty good. That's full service we provided here. And John Stackhouse and everyone else. So thank you, Sharon. Our next speaker is from the United Way. Katie Neville is going to share some information about some programs that they're rolling out right now. Good morning.
Good morning, John. Thanks. So the Acting Box for United Way recently compiled data from many of our community partners, local organizations working with a cross-section of our towns. And it substantiated what I think we're all seeing and experiencing, that feelings of isolation are increasing drastically as we all work to socially distance to protect ourselves, our loved ones, and our communities from the spread of the pandemic. And one of our core impact areas here at the United Way is working to assure that our neighbors are healthy. And that is not just health of body, but a huge part of that is mental health. So as we head into winter, to holidays, which will likely look different this year, We're turning to our seniors to see how you are and how we can best support you. Sharon has kindly agreed to help us in distributing a short survey around the topic of isolation. So this will be going out both in paper copies and digitally. And I'm here today to encourage you to take the time to answer this brief survey openly and honestly. We'll use these answers to bring together resources, to develop programming, to create connection. And if you found a strategy that's working for you, whether it be in how you connect with relatives or a new hobby you've taken up, a new habit of self-care, let us know that too. We'd love to learn what is working, what silver linings you found, so that we can help bring those to neighbors who can benefit from a similar strategy. One program that is already underway, for which we're looking for more volunteers, is our new virtual storytime program. So we're matching volunteer seniors with young local kids, emerging readers, for a weekly story time over Zoom. So if you're interested in learning more about becoming a reading volunteer, I would love for you to send me an email. So it's knevel@abuw.org, or give the United Way a call, and we're at 978-263-1777. So that's it for me today.
Oh, that's great. Katie, remind us how to access the survey.
Sure. So it is on the Council on Aging Facebook page. Sharon now tells me we'll be sharing it on the United Way's media as well. And then Sharon will be kindly helping to distribute paper copies where they'll be most accessible.
Okay, thank you. Well, United Way continues to provide new ways to engage with our communities, and nice to see this effort for our seniors. So thank you for joining us this morning. Our closing speaker and guest is none other than State Senator Jamie Eldridge, recently reelected to serve how many terms have you served now?
This will be finishing my 6th term as a state senator. Yep, so 12 years. Yep.
Congratulations on your recent election, and thank you for joining the program this morning. What's going on?
Great. Well, thanks, John. Thank you for doing a job with John, and great to be here with Heather, Sharon, and Katie, and just really critical information updates. And as you mentioned at the beginning, really pleased that yesterday the Baker-Polito administration announced the $2.75 million sewer and complete streets grant for South Acton, the sort of Powder Mill Road High Street area that will help lead to the development of the Powder Mill Place apartments, which is overlooking a beautiful pond that I think most folks in Acton don't see. You know that I've been a big advocate for this project. We took a tour of it last year. And when we talk about building multifamily housing, affordable housing, this is a really critical piece for Acton. So very appreciative to the administration for providing this grant. I know that just 2 nights ago, we finished the Senate budget. And so this is the remainder of the FY21 budget. And just so folks know, especially, focused on how to help our most vulnerable populations in Acton and in the whole district I represent, we passed increases in emergency food assistance, which is money that will go to the Acton Food Pantry, rental assistance for people that are falling behind on their rent. Very proud of the efforts that the town of Acton has initiated to provide rental assistance, as well as the work of the United Way. But we realized that the state needs to pick up the slack as well. And so we did increase the raft assistance, as well as more money for public housing authorities, and hopefully getting more housing vouchers out there. And then just on the local aid front, we were able to level fund local aid. I think a lot of people thought that there'd be a budget cut. So that means there'll be level funding coming to Acton and the Acton-Boxborough Public Schools, something very important. And then the rest of the session, hopefully we'll be finishing up police reform, climate change bill, economic development, and transportation, bond bill to keep the investments going on transportation, including the improvements for the shuttle system and the commuter rail. So those are some of the things that, I continue to work on, and always happy to come on Job with John. And thanks so much for having me, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you for joining us, Senator. And it's nice to see you. This is your 2nd time on the program. And when you just said that, it reminded me, I think you came on probably in March or maybe early April. And I remember talking to you at that time about what's happening at the State House. Our or in Beacon Hill, or is it, Acton Town Hall is closed to the public, but we're still parking. Is there something similar going on there, or are the public allowed into government buildings downtown?
Yeah, John, the State House has been closed since March to the public. And I think for about a month or so, there were a fair amount of legislators going in, but we've really, it's really been shut down for the past, 5 months. When we debated the budget the past 2 days in the Senate, I was just at my apartment in West Acton Village, on Microsoft Teams debating the budget. So that's really the reality, and I'll be interested to see in the new year, talking about my reelection and my colleagues' reelection. We'll get sworn in the first Wednesday in January. I think we will probably be sworn in virtually, which will be the first time in the history of the legislature that we'll be sworn in virtually and not in person, which is too bad, but it's the adjustment that we're all doing.
Yeah, it's certainly a lot of adjustments going on in everything we do. It sounds like even in swearing-in ceremonies. So congratulations again on that, and thank you for your continued support and partnership. And it was really great to see that MassWorks grant. I know that you've helped advocate for that over the last 2 years, and it was really excited to see it come through for us this year. So thank you very much.
My pleasure.
And that will wrap up our program today. We're not taking calls, although Sharon has something else to say, so I'm going to let her do that before. Right. Go ahead, Sharon.
Hi. Sorry. I first wanted to thank you, Senator, for restoring the formula grant. That's, amazing, and we really appreciate your support in that. And also wanted to mention, for those of you that don't know, Senator Eldridge does a huge senior conference every spring. This year, he was not able to do it due to our current situation. But Senator, do you want to talk about what you have planned for the seniors this year?
Thank you, Sharon. I was just remembering that's the one thing I did mention. So yeah, we are continuing to have the senior conference. It'll be virtual. It's the 40th senior conference, and it's on Thursday, December 10th, beginning at 11 a.m. And so you can go to my website, senatoreldridge.com/seniors. You can watch it on YouTube. I think it's on most Council on Aging websites, and we'll have presentations and raffles, and look forward to having people join us, and appreciate your support, Sharon, and everyone at the Council on Aging.
Good. So a virtual conference. Well, I'm glad you're able to do it and connect with people in the ways that we're able to these days. So as I mentioned, we're going to call it a week, and we're not going to be doing the program next week. So I hope everyone has a very safe and restful Thanksgiving, and try to connect with people virtually and in other ways safely. And take care. Thanks to all our guests. Appreciate you being here. Have a good day.